So guys, here we go again. The Model 3 has always been the star of the show for the past half year, and here we are with it back in the spotlight once again. Now rolling back even before then, even before the official announcement, it had gone through various hype moments and various speculative times. We had speculated to our left and to our right, hoping every new feature that we were wishing for, that we were admiring, was going to be coming to this next generation version of the Model 3. And throughout this entire time, there were various sightings and prototypes which shown us some very particular items, things that would really pop out and stand out on the car. We imagined that they came with a very good reasons as to why Tesla had put them there. Now, throughout the design and production of the re-engineered Model 3, we saw many of these engineering vehicles, all of them coming with a different part, a different design, and these are all part of the trial periods. They were testing all sorts of things, such as the different wheel choices, tire manufacturer, and the ratings, as well as various types of aero caps and covers. Then came the steering wheel design, originally coming with a multifunctional button that served no purpose, and Tesla later on decided to remove this entirely. As part of the stockless steering wheel design, they added a new camera button which started off looking like a pixelated ball, so they swapped it out later on for another camera icon down the line. And because of regulations and some owners having the first batch off the line, they are still including the same icon in the Model 3 users manuals today. Then finally, with the most major change of it all, this was the last minute front bumper camera removal. Throughout the entire testing phase up until this very day and announcement, Tesla included a new front bumper camera to the Model 3 as well as the Cybertruck around the same time. In the last moment of surprise, Tesla removed all references to the front bumper camera on their website and replacing all the images with a completely different render. Now, the entire talk of the front bumper camera returning with hardware 5, this is all happening right now. We have been seeing a ton of prototypes with this front bumper camera as well as various changes as well. If you want to know more about this, I do have a video or various videos. I'll drop some of them in the description below and up top there. That is something you really don't want to miss. Alright, so with all that aside and all the various changes and things we have seen with the Model 3, let's talk about the Model 3 Highland, specifically the ones built and made for China, but now seeing testing on the roads of California. A handful of these Model 3s have been seen as far back as last year, driving around as test engineer vehicles and seen to be compared next to the local variants. Now, we still don't know the exact reasons why they were shipped all the way from China to the US with all the Fremont builds that were available and testing during that moment. The only real reason we can think of is that they are comparing the differences between suspension and tuning for each Model 3. Now, most of us may not be aware, but the Model 3 made for China has always been a tad longer in length, more interior legroom, and a bit heavier. This has always been the case for the Model 3 as well as other models built and made for China, and it gets better with more exclusive options. We have recently touched up on this as well as the Model Y's exclusive ambient lighting retrofit. If you want to get into details of all the China specific options that we don't get anywhere else in the world, go check out my previous video. I will drop that in the description below. Now really, we could have speculated as much as we wanted on these China made vehicles driving on US roads, but in the end, when the vehicle was announced and released, we got the US variant and nothing more. So essentially, that was that. Engineers had shipped over a made from China, built for China Model 3 and done some testing on US roads, but in the end, we still have no idea as of why it was there. The hype in the Tesla community completely died down in regards to these China-made Model 3s and why they were here. It just completely went off of our minds up until this very date. Well, at least until just very recently. In a completely unrelated situation, a user on Facebook that goes by Gary Green has posted on the Tesla community page about a Model 3 that he encountered, which is an engineering vehicle. Supposedly, the engineer driving this car pushed him out of his lane, which caused Gary to grab a picture of their plate, outing them for their irresponsible driving. Now, we don't know the entire situation, but the likelihood of this car being on full self-driving is extremely extremely high, knowing that they are about to launch FSD in China, so it may not be the driver's fault at all. But luckily for us, through all this, without knowing, Gary has captured the latest sighting of a Chinese version of the Model 3. This is not just another Model 3 built for the export market. This is a China-made Model 3 built specifically for the local Chinese market. You can tell that this is a Chinese local Model 3 by cross-referencing it with other similar prototype versions. The badge at the back gives it away extremely easily. As part of regulations, all vehicles in China have to specifically state the model of the car, either in Chinese or in English. So you can see here with this version, unlike older sightings, this only includes the Chinese letters. This could mean one of many things. They could be road testing the longer format of the Model 3 to see if it is compatible in the US and start offering the same version here. As we know, it will come with a longer wheelbase and much more interior legroom. Then they could also be testing suspension settings, better tuning for noise, and certain features to see if it meets criteria for the US market. As we know, in China, things are much better built and they do come with exclusive items. Next, they could also be preparing for the launch of full self-driving supervised in China and just making sure that the car is compatible with the software that is available in the US and North American market today. And the final thought here is that they may just be cross-referencing between the build quality of the two factories to see how far behind the Fremont is to Giga Shanghai. Whatever this all means, we don't know, but we do know that Tesla is definitely testing these China-made vehicles in US roads right now, and we do know that they have not stopped innovating even though that they just released this version of the Model 3. There is going to be a ton more upgrades to come in the near future. Now, this is my own opinion here, but really I hope that in the future they can just provide the same variant across the entire globe. This means that we are not going to be seeing a different longer wheelbase versions, specific versions for specific markets, and we are not definitely going to see a different battery type that performs less powerful or more powerful than the other. This would be something that is beneficial to the company and beneficial to the entire market as a whole. So hopefully that is something that they can work on in the future, provide one variant for the entire world. Now that Tesla is preparing for the Robotaxi, the Model Y Juniper, and the Model 3 made in China version, I'm sure there is a ton more in the next couple of days. I will be keeping an eye out on every little detail and keeping you guys as updated as possible. So make sure you stick around, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification if you haven't already done so, and follow me on Twitter at HeyJohnE. You will be hearing things over there first before I push out a video here. Anyways, this should be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is John once again. Peace out.